the character of Srimati Radharani and aspire to follow in those footsteps. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namne. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namne. When I first came to Krishna consciousness, one statement I heard and I still remember. They said that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything is revealed. So all the knowledge, all the understanding, all the conclusions of our devotional service are hidden within the holy name. There is nothing else that needs to be explored, ventured out, speculated. If we chant sincerely, all the purports, all the conclusions of the Vedic scriptures will be revealed. And somehow I am a person who takes the shortest route. I'm not very intelligent, so I thought, okay, let me just focus on that. And since I came in touch with Krishna consciousness, I think that is one thing which has helped me to go on and on. I might be sinful. I might not be able to practice all the regulations very strictly. But having little faith in the holy name, in the association of devotees, in the process of devotional service, we just continue. And then when the appropriate time will come, by the mercy of spiritual master, the devotees, Krishna, things will be revealed. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he mentioned, don't try to see Krishna. Serve Krishna in such a way that he wants to see you. And what is that way? We learn that through Srimati Radharani. Because if our service is not pleasing, then it is not service. Our parents, they may say, I want to eat sweet rice. But we say, no, I want to feed you gulab jamun. They're saying, no, I right now have a desire to eat sweet rice. But say, no, today the weather is very cold and hot gulab jamuns will be nice. So if we speculate, we are serving, we are doing the external course of our service, but we are not pleasing. So our service has to be pleasing to the spiritual master, to the devotees, and eventually through them to Krishna. When we are flying in an aeroplane, there are several lessons from while we are flying on the aeroplane. And one of the lesson is, it has two wings. And there are two engines on both the sides. And in Krishna consciousness also, we move forward on two wings. If one of them goes down, we won't be able to sustain for very long. One of the engine or the wing is of our sadhana, and second wing is of our service. If we are so enthusiastic to do the service and we neglect our sadhana, it is just a matter of time. The battery will go down and we will not be able to sustain. One devotee was sharing in one of the temples, like there was a time when there used to be almost 500 devotees during Mangalarti for several years. And then it also came to a stage when it was hard to find a person to sing Mangalarti. It can happen. If we are so enthusiastic to serve, but we compromise on our sadhana. Because through our sadhana, we understand how to serve. And when we serve, it's like digesting all what we have heard, all what we have done during our sadhana. It is just like the cow, she eats the grass and then she chews and digests. So if we are just focused on our sadhana and we are not doing any services, our understanding will remain on a very, very superficial level, on the surface only. But if we are doing service as well, then we understand. And as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he mentioned, we try to understand what really pleases Krishna. And the person who understands the most, what pleases Krishna is Srimati Radharani. We were in 2010, we went to South India Yatra. No, not 2010, 2005. South India Yatra with Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, and we went to several places in South India, and one of the temple was Sri Rangam. And I was not used to standing in lines for 4 hours to take darshan, and that too for a fraction of second, because they are pushing, you need to move forward. So imagine, standing 4 hours in line and then you just go there and then next, because there were 5,000 devotees, attending the yatra. So using my creative mind, I thought I'll go tomorrow, the first one, in the early morning, and as soon as the door opens, I'll go take darshan. And there were some friends as well who accompanied. And as soon as around 4 o'clock, the main door opened, along with my friends, we started running, to take the darshan. And we were able to take the darshan as well. And we were among the first one to take the darshan. But what happened was, the report somehow reached Maharaj that there were some devotees and they were running in the temple courtyard early in the morning. It's a huge complex. It has almost, I think, 7 gates to reach to the main temple. Sri Rangam. Lord Ranganath resides there. It's in South India. And I never knew Maharaj personally, So during the class, Maharaj was giving, and he was saying, I came to know that, some of the devotees were running early in the morning, and then he he said a statement which struck me like anything. And then I was convinced that, he didn't know who am I and what I was doing. But this statement, it changed my perspective of Krishna consciousness. Would like to listen the statement? Yeah. He said, you may be the first one to see the Lord, but the Lord won't see you. And that was the most powerful instruction or the lecture I ever heard. So this is Krishna consciousness, this is Srimati Radharani. What happens is, in this material world, we are educated. We should always come first in book distribution, first in, definitely these are transcendental activities. But we have a conditioning, we want to be the first. But if it does not please Krishna, if Krishna doesn't want to see us, there is no meaning to being first. There was a festival of Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj's disappearance day, or I think appearance day. It was in 2008. And we started our service at like 4 in the morning. I was helping Kumkumangi Mataji, Manjali Mataji. And it was a very, very satisfying day. When you stretch out, when you are like at the end of the day, you're almost about to crash on the bed. Your body is very tired, but your heart is satisfied. I gave my best to Krishna. On that day, what happened? One new devotee came and he wanted to come and serve prasadam. And I was so attached and I said, no, I want to serve, and I did not give him the spoon so that he starts serving prasadam. And immediately, like from that point onwards, the high which I was experiencing, I started going slowly down. And then my realization was, we can give up our service as well if it pleases Krishna. It's not that just that particular service. Krishna is eternal. Krishna is unlimited. So similarly, there are unlimited services which can be performed for Krishna. But if I am attached to a particular service such a way that I'm not respecting other devotees properly or not assisting them in their service, in their journey, then that is not pleasing to Krishna as well. So when we have our service, we do with great due diligence, with all our heart, with all attention, with all love, we do that service. And if Krishna permits, we continue with that service till the end of our life, till our body supports. But if it pleases Krishna, the devotees, then even though we might be attached to that particular service, we are willing to give it away for other devotees. And we do some other service. It's not that we stop serving Krishna. That is Srimati Radharani. She's always praying like this, and she's saying, Krishna, this devotee is better than me. Please accept him. And then, when I asked Radhika Raman Prabhu, There is service in separation. Several of us, we are not in association, direct proximity of our spiritual master. So we are serving in separation. But we have Vani. We try to understand his mood. And we always contemplate, what will please him. So any action, any service we perform with the mood that he is next to me and he is watching me. And if he is here, how would I act? How would I respond? How would I do that particular service? And with that mood, we execute our devotional service. And then it's up to Krishna and our spiritual master, when they want to award us pure devotional service. But we continue endeavoring. So these are the initial thoughts. If anyone would like to share their understanding, realizations, or give me some corrections, and then we will try to build on top of that. Because in our Krishna consciousness, it's not that our aeroplane is always flying high. There are turbulences, there are ups, there are lows. There is fire sometimes. We are angry, upset, disturbed. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for such a nice presentation of the philosophy. I'm wondering, this past time where you ran to see the deities, because I figured Maharaj can go one of two ways. There's two ways. He could either say it's really amazing that, this eagerness to go see the deity is so special, and, this is what Krishna has been waiting for us to show for lifetimes, this eagerness to see him. Or, to say this other perspective of, actually to bring others towards Krishna and to put others first is better, and Krishna sees that. Actually, if I may, one time I asked Guru Maharaj, because, Radhanath Swami, I asked him, people will tell me different things sometimes. God family will try to, make sure I'm pleasing Maharaj by telling me, oh, Maharaj will actually prefer if you stand in the back and don't try to approach him. He likes to see this kind of humility. And then other God family will tell me, no, it's so rare, this opportunity to see Guru Maharaj. You need to go and approach him and reveal your heart to him. And so I'm like, well, what does he actually want? Because they're saying these things. But so I asked Maharaj, Maharaj, I'm hearing these different perspectives, and what's actually pleasing to you? He said, whatever you do, if you do it with sincerity, I am pleased. So I guess I was going to ask about that, but then I remembered this instruction that Maharaj gave, and so I guess I answered my own question. But if you have any elucidations on that, then please.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the key. So that's the beauty of personalism. We have a personal philosophy, and it's not that only one thing is right. Different things can be right in different time, place, circumstances. But if, as you said, if we are sincerely trying to please, and even if there was that person who climbed on Lord Chaitanya so that she could take the darshan of Lord Jagannath, and Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. But at the same time, Govinda was very upset. Jay and Vijay, they were trying to do their service so nicely, but at the same time they offended the four Kumaras. So love is, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. It's beyond that. Love is beyond logic. And the best thing what we can do is, with a good intention, with the best guidance we have, we try to take our step. And even what I have seen is, my understanding of the same, it has evolved over a period of time. I don't understand it the same way. And that lolyam, as mentioned in the scriptures, in Nectar of Instruction, that intense greed, that intense longingness to please, may not necessarily be to meet, but to please, is the price we pay for Krishna consciousness. And that desperation, it's very, very different. We are just like a person, he's going in a train. There are two types of beggars. One, those who are begging out of profession, and they want to make money, they want to... and there is a second type of beggar who is really hungry. He has not eaten for several days. So when this person, he begs, this is in desperation. We are chanting, but our chanting is not in desperation. We are trying to cry for Krishna, but we are not calling, the desperation which Gajendra had, when the crocodile was biting, the desperation or the helplessness which Draupadi had when she was calling out for Krishna. So it's not that we want those situations to come in our life, so that because we might not be, Krishna knows what we can handle, but that lolyam, and then when Krishna appears, it satisfies our heart completely. They say that just before the sunrise, the sky is the darkest, but when the sun starts appearing, there is so much hope, there is so much joy. Similarly, when we are really helpless, and in that circumstance, we take shelter of Krishna, our spiritual master. And when they come, to help us through devotees, through different means, we feel so happy, we feel so satisfied. In the verse, the 10th canto, 88th chapter, 8th verse, when Krishna says, when I favor someone, I take everything from that person. And then that person has nothing else but me. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada or the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they mention that during those moments are priceless, because we are taking exclusive shelter of Krishna. Right now, we are trying to come to Mangalarti, we are trying to chant our rounds, we are trying to do so many things. But what is our real shelter? At least in my case, do I have a job? Do I have sufficient bank balance? Do I have sufficient things to take care of? So many considerations are there. And then, I'm trying to practice Krishna consciousness along with it. So it's not exclusive shelter of Krishna consciousness. But again, that maturity also, that where I don't neglect my family, the needs of my family members, and I do contribute whatever in my capacity. But the conclusion is, yes, that exclusive shelter of Krishna. Right now it is theoretical, but situations will come in our life where, we need genuine help, we are helpless, and when we call out and take Krishna's help.
I just wanted to share one other thing. Thank you. That was beautifully said. One other thing that I was hearing from Prabhupada Priya, I just reveal my mind to her often, and I have a lot of doubts, like, am I allowed to be thinking of Krishna in this way, or, and like, am I allowed to approach Krishna with this mood? What is that, And so one thing that she told me that really stuck with me was that the similar concept, if we're approaching with sincerity, true sincerity and humility, then whatever discrepancies may be there, because there will be discrepancies. I don't have, that much knowledge or realization. She said it will be worked out. It will just naturally, like with time, misconceptions will be corrected, and, it'll just, so we just continue with that sincerity and trying to love Krishna.
I was reading Bhagavad Gita the other day, and there it says, just like the father, he tolerates the mistakes or the silliness of children. For that matter, it also says, just like the husband tolerates the wife. So yes, Krishna, he tolerates, and even our spiritual master, our friends, our well-wishers, they tolerate, they encourage. But again, if our mood or aspiration is right, it is just a matter of time that things will be revealed to us. And so be natural. Don't, I should just, if it is really pushing you, I should go and meet. If an opportunity comes, please go and meet. But if an opportunity comes where someone else need more, then if we have the authority, or it's okay to let other devotee go as well. So it is constant evolution of Krishna. But again, point being said that it should be pleasing to our spiritual master. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. It's a really nice discussion. I was just wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on, you talked about, how back in the day you'd have the room full for Mangalarti, and now less so, and you said there was even times where it's hard to find somebody to even sing. So I think you touched a little bit on, but why do you think that happened, and how can we avoid that? I think you talked about too much focus on service and not enough on sadhana. Just wondering, what is your take on this?
So I was saying, like, the balance, the two wings which are there. If our sadhana, if our motive, if our understanding of why I'm serving, how I'm supposed to serve, it's not properly tuned, in due course of time, our taste in serving will go away. And what are the symptoms? I know some devotees, they are doing small services, and I can mention the name Mother Dheer Lalita. She has been making sweets for Radha Kalachanji at least for last 25 years or so. But she is doing it consistently, week after week after week. And then I have seen with myself, sometimes, I'm doing a particular service, and then sometimes in the mind it comes, what next? What next? What next? And the mind is so flickering, and it cheats us because we think that it has to get better and better, and there has to be something else, there has to be something more. And then we start changing our services. And then also it happens that, there are so many issues in this temple. There is so much politics, there is so much which is going on. Then we try to change the temple also. And then we see, there is more issues. Even in ISKCON there are so many issues. Then we try to change the institution also. And why those things happen? Because we are not reading Srila Prabhupada books, we are not hearing from devotees, we are not doing our sadhana nicely. Otherwise, the same service, it can be very menial service, just cleaning the temple, brooming the temple. If we are tuned in properly in the right consciousness, we can be nourished through that service. We don't need to change. Because we are here in this world not to change the world. We are in this world to change ourselves. But what we do is, we try to keep changing our situations. It's okay to change our situation sometimes, it is also needed. It might be too hard, but that also has to be done in a proper mood. And how that understanding comes is through hearing. Because while doing service, we will not agree with the particular devotee how to respond. If we just do what our mind says, we will commit offenses. But if we try to relate it to, how Maharaj would respond to this, our spiritual master would respond to this situation, how Srila Prabhupada would respond in this situation, how Krishna would expect me to respond in this situation. When that contemplation is there, then we will understand how to serve. Otherwise, this world is full of faults. Kali dosha nidhe Rajan. There are so many faults in people around us, in us, in the surroundings around us. And then we will give up. And then we'll leave. So that is why, to compromise on our sadhana, to compromise on our chanting in the name of service is not good. And at the same time, just focusing on our sadhana and our chanting and not serving at all, and that is also not good. So both needs to go hand in hand. Otherwise, it is just a matter of time that we will lose the taste in our Krishna consciousness. There is so much sweetness in serving. There is so much sweetness in helping the devotees who we might be able to help. There is so much sweetness in doing the sacrifices which we might need to do. But if we want to go on, for long, it's very important we don't want to be like, in India there is a game called cricket. It's like baseball. It's the closest sport. It can be played in multiple formats. One is a test match, in which it goes on for 5 days. Then there is a one-day format in which it goes on for 1 day. Then there is another format in which it goes on for 4 hours. So the way we play in test match is very different. The way we play in 1 day is very different. The way we play in the 4 hours format is very different. in the test match, we are just, defending most of the time. We are very cautious because we don't want to get out. Because we need to continue playing as long as possible. In a one-day format, we take a little more risk. And in the 4-hour format, you start with the first ball. So in our Krishna consciousness, the goal is that we want to continue practicing Krishna consciousness throughout our life. We don't want to be like, in India we call it anar. What do you call it in English? Pomegranate. No, the firework. Huh? Shooting star, something like that. So it goes on for few minutes, and it is making, so much. So we don't want to be, like that shooting star. We perform like for few months, for few years, and we are like doing, amazing service. And then after a few years, nobody knows where we are. We want to be like the stick, what you call the stick, which burns slowly. The sparkling thing. It burns very slowly, but it goes on for very long time. So Krishna has given different capacity, different ability to different devotees. So we want to continue till the end of our life, as happily as possible. So, but if we are just doing our regular service, nobody is glorifying us, we don't get the attention. But if we are doing really something amazing and, we don't know what time we are sleeping, what time we are waking up, our whole schedule is, we may get some glorification, attention, but we cannot sustain on that for very long. So it's very, very important that we have that balance. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Prabhu, that was a wonderful answer. I was just reflecting on that we always talk about wanting to go beyond the false ego, but it can be so present in spiritual life also that we want recognition and we want to be praised, and usually we get praise from services that people can see, services in the temple and this and that, but we don't see like somebody at home that's chanting really sincerely, or that's reading Srimad Bhagavatam out every day. And so yeah, that is just like a reflection I had, that but it comes out when they speak though, it comes out in their character, it comes out when they give class, or when you just talk to them, you can tell like, okay, wow, they're like taking their sadhana seriously. But yeah, I was just thinking, I've seen like quite a few times already, and I haven't been practicing for that long, but I see like new people coming in, and they want to like be like everyone else, and they go in really like fired up, and they get up so early and they chant so many rounds, and then poof, and they disappear, So what do we tell them? Do we tell them like stop or like, calm down, or what do we do? Because at first we get all excited. We're like, oh, look at him go. But now I don't get attached. Like now I don't get excited. I'm just like, okay, we'll see, So what do you think, Prabhu?
Generally, any suggestion we offer is based on our relationship. Like, have I invested enough in that relationship before I give the correction? When I got married, it's a paradigm shift, when you are living earlier in a bachelor mode and then you get married. So it took me some time to understand, I cannot just, expect from my wife, do this, or vice versa as well. But as we invest more and more in that relationship, then we can offer corrections, we can offer feedback, we can. So who to correct, which, it's definitely, person needs help. But the first thing which should come in mind is who. Who should give that correction. So we should have invested in that relationship. And generally that's why, there is one senior member in Krishna house, or who has seen enough, and then, he has also invested in that relationship. And then when that correction comes, from the right person, and then also the timing is very important. We should not, while a person is doing this, and you go and immediately correct, oh, this is not the way how to do this, please do it like this. Where, generally it is said we should always glorify in public and give correction in person. So all this sensitivity has to be taken care of. How to correct, when to correct. When the person is in the middle of the service and you go and correct, hey, this is not the right way to do it. That's not the right way of correcting. Let it go. Wait for another time when, things are little slow and the person is in a right frame of mind, and then, offer this correction. But definitely it is needed. And once in a while, if a person stretches beyond his limit, it's okay. But we should fall back to his basics. Sometimes what happens is we forget the basics. Basics is we should have association of devotees. Basics is we should have hearing, chanting, service, nice prasadam, rest, everything in our life. So everything should be there in a proper proportion. Sometimes the schedule or the situation may demand, we have to stretch, like Janmashtami festival or some other festival. But then we go again back to the basics. So that's what I think is important. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for sharing your thoughts. The person who gets benefited the most is the person who gives the class. I'm not sitting here so that because I know more, but I learned more during this class. So thank you very, very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं अगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितान् भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य